have a cupcake. Are we here? Can you hear me? There is an echo. Okay. There is an echo. Why is there an echo? There should only be... Ah, okay. We go here and here and here. And now no echo? Hopefully no echo now. Thank you for being patient with me. Yes, we did have two microphones. Finally we can do some fucking Lego. Jesus. Thank you all so much for the subs earlier. Sorry, this is the third iteration of the stream tonight. We are doing some Lego. And Fader, I have not forgotten. We are on bag 3. And just for you, you have a swishy ball. Listen, if the mic's a bit too sensitive, let me know. It's peaking in the red a bit there, so I've turned it down a little. Oh, we need this. This is absolutely part and parcel of the tools and so on you use for Lego. So you may notice that my background's different from last time. So I've turned the table around so it's a different way. We've also got a fairly mobile camera here, which is tuned to keep things fairly dim, which unfortunately means that showing you Winston and Tony, who are down here somewhere, is a little tricky. But they are here. They've come to investigate what's going on. So a little bit about what just happened, as well as all of the video feeds being thrown back and forth. So the stutter was caused because we had too many video feeds and they're conflicting. They're actually going in different directions. I also have a keyboard and mouse utility called Synergy, which allows you to share keyboard and mice between between machines over the network. And my machine here, its keyboard wasn't locked. Also, you can mess with my lights, and it will light up these lights I just put in the bookcase there. We'll probably have to find a better place for the camera. So what was happening is when I was trying to use this machine keyboard, I was actually typing on the machine in the other room, and with that, I managed to cause further problems, blame it on the cats, poor things, never did a thing wrong. And we're now going to see if this in fact just works, and then I can have a normal number of screens in front of me while I'm doing this. So yeah, it's looking good. We've got my keyboard back. That's lovely. Need to go over here and get the music going and make sure that the
1, 2. There we go. Oh, there we go. Oh, stupid Elgato stuff. Hello? Please tell me you're there. I'm not speaking to the void. Fine! Okay, we're finally there. We can build some fucking Lego. So the normal form is that I try and keep the book open, but this is going to be a little tricky with the new camera angle. Maybe we can do it this way. They can kind of follow along, but this is the haunted house. It's 10273. I think it's in the stream title. You want to get a manual open, read along. And we're on bag 3. So we've just built this little guy here. Can't see. So what I will do, I will pop those over there. I'm going to put this here. I'm going to shufty this way, so I'm closer under there, and this might just about be doable. It's a little bright, but I do. Finally got there. Your patience is immense. Thank you so much. So, this is the piece we did yesterday. It's in 2 sections. Not like that. It's got a dungeon-esque sort of thing going on there. Some tools that just keep on flinging themselves about. Drops. Pumpkin. Some weed. Batty gravestone. See there? Oh, wow. Tony. Winston. What are you doing? Winston has got into a fight with my beanbag. They are suddenly a lot more playful and active, which is quite good. We're just going to keep moving things around until we're happy with it. That's how it's going to be. So yeah, for instance, we'll get some flashy lights. I'll probably elevate the camera so it's not looking up my nose quite so much. And yeah, if you were to ask about the charity, it'll do some trans lights, or it should do some trans lights. It looks like that bit's failed. You know what? I'm happy just to be online streaming. I do have an absolute mess of network cables running across the room now. So, what we can do is actually, one of the things that we are able to do, do a close inspection of things. That will need some lighting to fix it. So, we dress up, we do spooky music, and we build Lego. Get the fuck on with it. Yeah, it has got some little candles in it. They're rather nice. So this will go over here for the moment. It's going to get interesting as the whole thing gets bigger and I run out of fucking space. Because all this shit that's in front of me is not helping with the space issue. Right, the noise. We have built up to here, including this little red levery thing here, which eluded me, and I moved on. But Cuppy, wise, helpful Cuppy, was like, is it hiding inside another bit? And it was hiding hiding inside another bit. This little guy isn't meant to be here. He's just that was just to keep him safe for now. He is so if we go back to the start, this guy here, I believe he's meant to be Merriam, or maybe he is Mike Isiarski. I think he might be. Yes, he's got the glasses. Look. So this is this guy here. He's one of the designers. No, I know exactly what you mean, Vader. I'm pretty sure I ate a Lego or 3. Well, we call them Lego. The individual, you don't call collections of them Legos. They're Lego collectively in UK English. So you would eat a Lego. So we have done this section here, and I believe we've done this section here, and that's where we left it last time. So now, on page 35, we need one of these. I tend to count things out loud. If that irritates you, well, tough. One of these grey 3 studs. I give things silly names as they go. An 8 stud green. A black 2 black stud. What I'm probably going to do is get a better camera arm, so it comes over and is here, approximately sort of where my hand is, but up. I think it's worth the investment. That worked well before for how things set up, but it's not really fit for purpose. So we have a 3 block, 2 of those. One of our little gate pieces here. So this is like the jail or whatever the fuck it is. Interesting. Yeah, we're good. We're here. Everything is copacetic. Need a 4 stud, 3 hole, and an exciting 2 stud with extraneous protuberances. So, when all the chaos was happening earlier, I made a joke about Torture Garden. Torture Garden is a fetish club night, stroke fashion show in the UK, and they used to be clients of mine many years ago. Hence, jokes about subs. This is interesting. I'm not quite sure how that works. Does work. They match up. So we're building this piece here, and I thought that's all good. But this exciting too. But we're missing. We're getting ahead of ourselves. We need the green bit that goes there. And when I'm doing these builds, I think it's something you actually kind of learn if you do Lego early on. But I'd forgotten. You look, might be able to just about focus. You can see that the gaps where there are individual blocks, we're building in reverse. So 2 block long 2 block, a long 1 piece with, oddly enough, a single stud on the end, and another 2 block, just to reinforce them as they as you build things at height. I just like the way that works. Here we go. So yes, also in this piece over here, there's some exciting mechanical bits, but we're going to get onto an exciting mechanical bits on this page here. So we're going to focus on those, not on those ones. They're gone. These ones, where it's at. So for this, we're going to need a spindly shaft. One of the things I find really useful about these builds is the one-to-one for things that don't have studs you can count on them. Hold that to that and go, that is the right size, and that we want. Brilliant. It is rather overexposed, isn't it? See if we can make that a little less. The problem is I will have to do this every goddamn time. Start this up till I come up with a solution. So here's the problem. We go down any, we get this weird flicker in the camera that I can't seem to get rid of. That's overexposed. That's not. I'm just wondering. It might be this actually. It is this. It's this light bulb that's. There we go. So the thing that's illuminating me is causing the problem. So you're just going to have to have a dark and mysterious me. I figure out a solution to that. It's that bulb is operating at a number of hertz that's upsetting the. Oh my god! Oh, thank God you turned up now. It's played both of them. Hello, Tinley. I've been having a disaster of a stream, but we are fixed. You have arrived at the right time. Thank you for the raid. I'm sorry you can barely see my face, but it turns out that if I turn the key light up, everything gets really hard to see on the action bit. How was your stream? How was the party games? I'm sorry I wasn't really very present, but I was building all this shit.
Maybe there's more in the back. Mom?
Oh, hang on, Chaotic as well.
He's
Good lord!
Do the final doing of your mom.
Chaotic, how are you doing? Double raid.
The final do.
I was about to give up. I have had a hell of a stream, an absolute hell of a stream. We've had to restart 3 times. I have shut down things. I have blamed the cats when the cats were not at fault. It was my own dumb arse. Thank you for the follow. Excellent. The team that dies together stays. Good. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. If you don't know me, I'm Graham or Grim or Grey Area. I'm a variety streamer. The variety streamer I'm doing at the moment is failing at streaming, but also doing some Lego. We have the sound. If you like your Lego ASMR, crunchy brick stirring noises, we are here for you. Thinking Pink Pony Club, that was just me. I think I heard that. You were definitely on in the background. I'm glad you all had a wonderful time. You're welcome here. If obviously you need to take a break, de-stream, do those sort of things, feel free. What we're doing here is a 700 follower goal Lego build, which is also happens to be, I do Lego builds in October sometimes as well as part of Spooky Week. Previously we built an Ecto 1, Ghostbusters Ecto 1. This time we are building the Haunted House 10273, which mod is present and can Google it. They can pop a link in the chat. I am a great cat friend, except I blamed them for destroying my stream earlier. And we are on page 37, step 36 of a lot of steps, nearly 500 steps, 494 steps. The final product is going to be high. It folds outwards, building the bottom floor at the moment. And we're about to get into some exciting Lego Technic-y stuff. Spindles, cogs, that sort of thing. So if you're into that, stick around. When I'm not doing this, I do Beat Saber. 5 days a week normally. Monday, Friday. Monday to Wednesday, 1 p.m.-ish UK time. It shifts around. I do it in my lunch break at work. And Thursday and Friday, 5 p.m.-ish. Similar sort of things shifts around during work. Friday in particular may come a little bit earlier, but I've specifically moved them later so people in the US were not having to watch me over their coffee. I am so grateful to you both. Please either settle in or de-stream as you like, and we are going to crack on with this. So for this we need one of these shafts. Things can get a little suggestive here. It is an 18+ stream. I just don't have space in titles a lot to put that in, but so I was just talking about when a UK fetish club fashion show thing was one of my clients many years ago. I worked for their payment gateway provider. This is the thing that the lever, this little bastard here, which eluded us for so long. This music is a bit overly dramatic, isn't it? Let's do something about that. I had a try that one. No, we're just gonna go. There we go. I recognise that instantly. If you're looking for interesting new music, stay here for one playthrough of the playlist because it just keeps on going round and round. This is my Lego making music, especially when I'm making spooky Lego. So one of those, one of these sprockety things. Very exciting. A wheel type arrangement. No, we need two of those. Any questions, feel free to ask. I am shit at looking at chat, but if you hit the nuke button, that tends to get my attention where it needs to be. The nuke is a redeem. It's modestly priced and tends to tell me that something is wrong or you want my attention. Recently fell out of use for a while, but is now back in use by the wonderful Cuppy, my mod. Speaking of the wonderful Cuppy, my mod, let's give her a shout out. She might have gone to bed. I wouldn't have blamed her. It was all a bit disastrous earlier. But do give her a follow. She also does Beat Saber.
I do have a cupcake.
Oh, there she is. Doing Beat Saber tomorrow night at 8, aren't you? 1 hour streams like me now. And she's a lot better at it than I am. Cuter too. You don't have to look at. There we go. See for yourself. While I'm on about lovely. That was very quick. We will have this argument until our dying days, dear Cuppy. Wonderful, lovely, deeply enjoyable people to watch. Please give Fader Tech a follow. As they're just awesome. You won't regret it. Okay, sometimes you'll have to stay up till like 4 a.m. your time to watch a stream, but hey, it's worth it.
Got it.
And may I also mention
Put the
Steel
thing
Farer
down, flip it in
there.
first.
If you like your community games, party games, and so on, he is your fella. And also a lovely bloke, and plays Void Crew with me sometimes. Which I find enjoyable because it is often quite hard to get people to do that. That's one of the other things I do is play Void Crew with whoever will play Void Crew with me. Right. We're not building Lego though, are we? You might notice I'm a bit overstimulated. Not caffeine, it's simply adrenaline and anxiety from...
I wonder if I should move that over my face.
Yes, why not? Right, so that shaft goes in the hole for her. Goes on there. Right, this whole thing is a little bit. So if I tuck my arms in while I'm doing this, do feel free to shout or newt at me, because you can't see what's going on, and that's no good. So we piece all these together like that. Then we use this to secure it, but not very well. Actually, that's really... This is all very articulated and exciting. And then this goes... Which way round does it go? Or are they identical? They're identical, so it doesn't matter. There we go. Like that. Wow, look at that. That's some sort of camshaft. And it goes... If you want me to move things around or get a closer look at something, please just ask. And I will make it so. And that doesn't go in there. It just marries up with a brick. So... This is not attached on this end. See, it wiggles a bit. And it certainly wiggles if we don't. Good now. So I'm assuming that's going to be secured by something else. So there is a mechanism in this. This is if you're familiar with the Tower of Terror in I think it's Universal Studios. The one I went to was in Florida. I don't know if there's more than one now. But it's an elevator drop ride. And this is that, but without a license, clearly. So they had to be circumspect about describing what it was so that they didn't get their asses sued off. Page 37, or step 37 on... That was page 30... Oh, the pages started syncing up with the steps, and now they're unsyncing. That's very distressing. Now we're on page 38 with steps 37 and 8. They'll be back in sync again. Oh, how nice. I was worried there for a second. We need a yellow rod of that size. Thankfully there's only one, so it's quite easy to find. And a tiny little bastard piece here. And a slightly less bastard piece here. So a red one and a yellow one. So we... You will not go on the floor. You will not. You will stay there like a good piece. Right. So goes on here about halfway, following this instruction here, and we shove that in, give it a good rodding, and cap it off. So you'll note it's not October yet. I'm a little concerned I'll get through this so quickly that this build so quickly that it will be over before much of October has passed. However, I have a plan. So for those of you unaware, I know Tyndall's, I like to call her, from Slave and Raid. And one of my Save and Raid milestones was, I think it was $20,000, which we met and exceeded. So I have to shave my beard off and goth up for every stream. So in October, I'll be doing this, but with whiteface and makeup on as well, for a month. And my Beat Saber streams, I've got something for that. That's going to be a surprise. So if you want to see me looking hilarious, do come along for that. But yeah, the Lego build is for the 700 follower goal, but it's also because I do Lego builds during October with spooky music and dressing up. That's what I used to do before I signed up for charity events that then made me have to go a step further. If we finish this beforehand, I have an unfinished... I bet you Fader knows this. Fader, who did The Wave? The famous piece of artwork, The Wave. Well, someone else can probably answer that offhand. We need an 8 piece, so that's not what we want. Let's make the swishy noise. I'm going to look it up because I'm feeling dumb. Uh, Toshika Husaki, the Great Wave of Kanagawa. But we have a Lego one of that to finish, which I never actually... Oh, Kanagawa, that's the one. So that is it. That is just pressing an awful lot of dots onto a board, which I like doing. But it turned out I didn't like doing it for like 5 hours a day. That much. I'd rather be playing, I think probably Into the Radius. That needs finished, so that's upstairs. We can get that down. I have some extra bits and bobs we can probably finish off. And there's a repair to do on the Ecto 1. So when I assembled it, I got one sequence of blocks slightly wrong. And because it's from the newer movie I haven't seen, but it has a seat that fires out the side with a... whatever the gun is called, I forget. Younger me would feel that I'm just a Philistine. But that doesn't work properly. So we could try and get that working. And that'll probably involve me weeping a fair bit as I have to reverse build. Yeah, well, Lego pointillism is exactly what it is. And diamond painting it ain't, I tell you. However, it looks fantastic, and I want to mount it on the wall, probably just over there, or maybe even up there. You can't see because I'm keeping things super gloomy in here, but there are some Lego orchids just behind me. I don't think I touched Lego from about the age of 14 onwards, but now I'm back and enjoying my childhood in a very expensive way. This is a retired set, which means people charge enormous amounts of money for it. But I found someone who seemed pretty decent, who was selling it on... Sorry, I'm having a moment here. Did I miss something? I've missed a step. I've gone one ahead. Selling a a display kit that has been built for a much more reasonable price. If you want to see how unreasonable it gets, I know that the new ones are expensive, but in the second-hand market, or as 6 2/3 would put it, the secondary market, the prices can be insane for stuff that is discontinued, especially if it happens to be a new in-box set. So I really want the Ghostbusters Firehouse. Anyone want to guess how much that costs second-hand? Dollars or pounds, but I'll try and do an in-head conversion. But I'll give you a minute or two to decide if you want to try and answer that question. So this is fairly boring. We're just putting that on there, that on there. This is just to even things out. I like evening things out. So going that way. There. And we're blocking and buttressing there. I'm seeing a scared face. Has anyone looked it up? Feel free to look it up. Let's just say I looked, well, we're going to say more than that. But I looked and I immediately discarded the idea. The answer is the cheapest set I could find was nearly £800. No, sorry, 694. But that was, I think it didn't come with any particular guarantees of having all the bits. Or it might have been you get the plans and some generic bricks bagged up so to make your own. Your new in box, easily £1,000. Now, paying £1,000 for a Lego Death Star, I kind of get. for a Lego set of dubious provenance. I'm maybe not so much. Just gonna try and fix this a second. It seems slightly off. Do we? How many Luma overlays? Yeah, no, that's fine. Okay. So now we've done that bit, I now go back and find. I should have kept all those and just put them to the side. But half the fun is finding the bits in the thing and making the noise. So yeah. Also, the madness that was going on earlier. People were very kind and gave me a lot of subs, and Valorant also gave me a lot of subs, and as a result, I've got 2 new emotes. I've got 3 new emote slots, all of which I have filled with ones that I'd taken out because I was running out of emote slots. So they're temporary, but there are new ones in there if you wish to find them. The 2 grey ones. I've already done the 2 grey ones, so I got ahead of myself. So discounting those, we need one, and a single dot, single stud brown one. So it's a tiny little bastard piece that's probably in the corner somewhere. Right, so where do we go from here? This is really hard to see, even for me. But I'm pretty sure we're going. Right, okay, now I see. Right, so this goes here. Then we have a this is very confusing, but you get a 2 and a 1 and 3 like that. But okay, that's how it go. That's how it be. Right, more. We're back onto the exciting parts here. So look at all these. They're exciting colours. They have holes in them where Lego blocks didn't originally have holes when I were a lad. These were Technics. I remember them being in the Argos catalogue, and they cost a fucking fortune. And I wasn't allowed to have any. My parents had no illusions about my attention span. I had to go and ruin other people's Technics, which I did with much abandon. Right. One of those, 2 of those, and 2 gold ones. These. They're chunky. I'm so glad we actually got to build some Lego today. Truly. It was all going a bit wrong earlier. But it all turned out rather nicely. So we're following this up here. This is a very cheap ring light that I've got on camera. Might invest in a better one if I do more of it. So, all pieces through right here, and they are then take this. No. Oh no! You put it through that side, and it goes that way, and these go in here. Right. So we put that down for now. We pick up this and our rod. Insert the rod through the center. Put this red thing on there, and then we put this whole assembly together like so, apparently. That. Going to do something special, I'm sure of it. Right, and that whole assembly... Oh, hang on. No, it's further instruction. This goes on the red blocks. So... This is some kind of... I feel like there's some kind of timing going on here. And there's some further instruction. So... How... Here's the wall. Okay. This is going... This? I'm scared. There's a big red box here that says, like, make sure something's doing. I'm not entirely sure I follow what it... So... That's saying have this in this position. So there's a U shape here, and the red bit projecting down. Yellow block should be behind it. That appears to be correct. I do hope I haven't fucked it up. Okay. About 15 minutes to the break, and then we just buttress that off. So this looks like it's got a quite complicated... It's not doing anything just yet. I'm wondering if that gets pushed down. Okay. Right. That one. Yeah, and 2 of these. So yeah, someone has built this this model that I'm building now, carefully disassembled it and put everything in labelled Asda food bags. They built it, taken it down in reverse, and then sold it on to me. They have their own set, apparently. I don't know what they do for a living, but I bet it's awesome. I need to leave them a good review. This is turning out perfectly. So this sprocket, it'll go together like this. Doesn't feel like it matters a great deal which way round it is. There's no asymmetry here. So that just goes straight across here. And that's engaging quite nicely, actually. It doesn't need a lot of pressure. It will lock in. There will be pressure on it from above by the looks of things. But yeah, we've got an actual term for this. But I'm not an actual engineer, so I don't know it. Alright, next we need 2 of these. Two of these. One of these. One of these. Right size. That looks like 8. 8, yep. One of these and 2 flat pieces. Cool. Alright. So over here and on here, you can see that the brown flat pieces go across here, bracing all of that and nicely evening out. Once again, we're building up this little tower, black blocks. And green blocks go across here, and again this sort of tessellating pattern where it inverts the order of the blocks each layer. Oh, is there another one of these? Or is it just... No, it's the same one from that diagram. And we have this over here, so that goes on there. Sweet. We're on page 42 and step 43. It's all gone out of order again. Oh, yes, enjoy your food. I'm very happy to have you around. Engaged or eating. Please eat. Eating is good for you. Or dark grey. 2 4 dark grey. We might get to open the next bag before the break. Probably going on to about 1 UK time. If I allow myself, which I will, regular breaks to get off this extremely fucking uncomfortable chair that I need to get less uncomfortable. Have I done a wrong thing here? I have done a wrong thing here. This one here, and we're gonna have to get the tool. So my glamorous assistant here. In whose head we store the block removal tools. So this was to be a light grey, not a dark grey block. So this becomes, I believe. Yeah. Yep. That is how it be. Right. It's taking form, isn't it? Back you go. And need the 3. Well, we need one of we need 2 of the 3, so we'll move 1 4 there. Okay. So we put those on there. Our 3 goes here. I have grabbed... Oh, that felt ugly. a 3 and a 3 there, and then our 4 goes here and does leave a blocks gap there. Okay, now it gets a little bit more complicated. So we need an 1/8 of those. Many of these fucking dots, which are so hard, so very easy to lose and so hard to keep hold of. But as mentioned, quite a lot of dots. Cool. Do feel free to type exclamation mark mermaids and find out what the charity is all about. I prefer you give mermaids money than me. You can do it via where the sub button is. There's a donate button. If you are on desktop, if you're on mobile, I forget. Subs and bits are always appreciated. I prefer you give money to charity. You can give it to them directly if you prefer not to give it through Twitch. That's fine. But if you do give me subs or bits, know this goes to charity anyway. And the charity it's going to mostly at the moment is Medical Aid for Palestine, because Jesus Christ. And I publish a report about every 6 months of how much money I've been paid by Twitch and how much I paid out to charity, and it should always show that I have paid out more to charity than I've got from Twitch. That is just to prove that I'm doing what I'm saying I'm doing. It's not a legal commitment. My circumstances may change. I may need the money. But it's just to prove that I am doing what I'm saying, which I believe is the right thing to do. So we need 5 of these ones. We need an exciting-looking black kind of geary style piece. A little bridge bit, which appears to be the sort of right sort of grey in colour. And one of these as well. Okay. So, is the fucking around has ceased, hasn't it? We are into the serious build now. That's... Have I done something wrong? Oh, haven't done. I've just got ahead of myself. So that goes there. This bit goes here. And it goes here. Goes over there. So I haven't really... Sorry, I've been kind of in it. So this is really taking shape. There is an engine block being built here. This does something. Turn it and it makes noises. And things turn. And likely more things turn. Go. I mean, I know ultimately what this is going to do, so I can make guesses at what that's going to be. Like what each individual part's going to eventually... I know what the ultimate mechanism is, but I don't know how it works exactly, and this is looking distinctly like a crank. It doesn't seem to be active in any way. I'm a bit concerned that this is meant to be doing something that it's not. I'm going to go back and have a look a bit. Right, so we get to build a little tower. I do like building little towers. And I hope you're all having a lovely weekend. And if you're not, they improve soon. Do feel free to lurk, but also do feel free to say hi if you like. do like a chat. I also like a good lurk myself, so I would not drive anyone with that. If someone wants to tell me about how their weekend's gone or projects they've got going on, happy to hear it. Right, step 44 complete. We have 2 minutes 45. I don't have to run ads, by the way. I just run them periodically, manually, without using the management system or the maximizing. I feel it's ridiculous though. They should probably just let you run ads, or have the management system do it for you, but not have penalties. You can just skip them and then just lose your bonus for not meeting the schedule. But as it happens, I don't really want the revenue. I just I have gone from going, oh, pre-rolls aren't that bad, to thinking actually I hate it when in that sort of 12-hour period when my turbo subscription runs out and they've taken the money but they've somehow failed to renew it in the... I don't know. But I get ads for a bit on channels where I don't expect to get them. And it is rather jarring. I get 2 of these rather exciting orange pieces. And these 2 drill spikes. They look quite fun. I'm not sure what they're for. But I guess we're going to find out. A tiny little grey round 2-stud piece is here. A white 2-stud. And 2x2 black block. And we're going to build a little assembly, it looks like here. So, white on one side. So, grey on the other. Drill pieces, I assume that's what they are, going to the grey. And the orange pieces, right, this is interesting. So if we orientate this the same way, this one goes on facing out that way. And this one... depends how you think of triangles, I guess. Goes in facing out that way. And we rotate this so it's facing this way, and it goes here. Interesting. I'm not sure what's meant to be happening there, but something is. Right. We'll do this one, and then we will break. So 1, 2 pieces. Second one of those. An L-shaped block and a 3er grey. Very straightforward. Oh, hang on a minute. It's got a bit non-Euclidean looking there. Oh, we got there. It was all a bit Escher for a second, but have that. Let's just build that in one assembly and then honk it right on the top. Sweet. All right. I'm going to take a break. Because this chair is short, sitting for too long. I'll run some ads. There may be some kitties. That's what happens generally, is that the cameras go... yeah, kitty cams up. Do a little preview, actually. Well, I say we. I can do a little preview. Yeah, it looks like we've got kitties on the cam. So maybe they'll stay there when I go into the room. Maybe they won't. Who knows? I shall be right back. Hello, I'm back. I forgot to drink. You have inhaled two hot dogs. I was going to ask what you were having. Are you enjoying the music? I'm enjoying the music. Right. One... Oh, this is exciting. One archway piece. Are you doing a stream today? Whatever. You were streaming when I got up. You did a very long stream this morning, didn't you? Well, this morning, my time. And you defeated the boss you were battling in Liza P. Unfortunately, I was rather distracted, so I missed the moment of victory. I rather like this music. It is Epidemic Sound. Although I probably need to give them some money. I think it's by, but it doesn't seem to stop me playing the music, so I'm quite sure what's going on there. I will be honest with you. Right. Getting towards the end of this bag, and I must decide whether I want to open a new one. I think the answer to that is yes. Semi-accidentally went for 8 hours. Yes, I saw it was quite a long one. I was very grateful you were on when I was awake. Although it was a bit of a surprise that I was up at that time, given the kind of week I've had. 6 of those green ones, 2 of those, an archway, a grey piece, and we need 6 of these. One of the oddities of I guess any small set of small objects, especially when it's a very large pile to begin with, is you'll sometimes get like a number. You get out there, and you go, "There's nowhere there can be 6 of those." They definitely are. They're absolutely there. Look. But right, let's crack on. So we take one of these. We take one of these. One of these. We're following this thing here. And it's going a little bit non-Euclidean again, or rather, it looks that way. But actually, there is method in the madness. There, and again, this sort of back and forth. I want to say tessellation. I'm not sure if that is the correct phrase for it. So, but I imagine that this kind of structure reinforces it because they're exerting pressure on each other in practically every direction. So we've got 2 of those. Yeah. Tessellation is kind of one-dimensional, isn't it? But I like the word tessellation. So use it. I'm going to. No one can stop. Look at that. We've got a lovely wall. That lovely wall goes right next to the lovely wall built there. The smaller, but equally well-formed and lovely wall. I love these archway pieces. So, this is a fire grate. That's what's going on. See it here. Although I'm not done yet. I should probably show you once I've done it. Put it in the last block. But here, I've made a fire grate. Next, this is some standard issue Lego building here. One of these, using blocks to make a larger block, basically. 3 of those. 4 of these. That's not correct. Be gone. 4 of these. 3 of these, 1 of these, 4 of these, and 2 of these. So we take these, 1 of these and 1 of these, and we'll push them together thus, and we plate top of them like this. And it's fantastic. And once again, we do this. There's got to be a word for it. I like the word tessellate. Now, you see, if it was me, when I was doing these, I kind of build them in a spiral pattern. Which is not what's happening here. It's literally just invert it every time. So the thinner block goes on the opposite side to the thicker block, to the thinner block on the bottom row. But I build them in a sort of spiral pattern, and I'm sure they know what they're doing. So you have this, then a grey, then 2 layers. This match up does doing it right. This. Then we do this. The reason I like the word tessellate, apart from the fact that it's just an awesome word, is there is a music video called, I don't know if the song was ever really released separately, called The Complete History of the Soviet Union, set to the theme tune from Tetris. And someone passed this on to me back in days of your early 2000s probably, and I took it with me on my travels and showed it to many people. And one day I was sat there having a couple of bottles of wine with a friend who I was showing this to for the first time. He thought it was magnificent, and we actually watched the credits because we were chatting away, and the names. The name Lamont, with a first name I recognised, turned up, and Lamont, James and Lemmy Lamont, brothers, who I went to school with. You may know their work, or well, you may not well know their work in the form of The Amazing World of Gumball, and you most certainly know of, if not are rather fond of, the work of James in the form of Paddington. So they did all right. So we need one of those. But yeah, I was using this video as a way of impressing people with my knowledge of YouTube cool stuff for years before I actually realised that it was produced by a friend of mine. He also, James also did a David Blaine. We only need one of these. We need 2 of these. Style comedy satirism called David Xanthor's Street Magician. And there was one video that he did, which I cannot find anywhere anymore, called Sleep Terrorist, which is just him falling asleep in really inappropriate places, like in cafes, in the doors of a tube train, on top of people, that sort of thing. People who had no idea that they were being filmed, actually, by the looks of things. And it is, I won't say it's the most ethical thing ever done, but it was pretty funny to watch. But it seems to have gone down. I suspect the use of the word terrorist got it pulled. I never did find out what happened after that. He said he was going to ask, because he put it together with a production partner that he'd been working with for some time. Right. There we go. That's certainly beginning to look like something. It's a lesser sound now, I'm afraid, Fader, but still kind of enticing. It's so soothing. Need 2 of these. I think we're possibly doing everything that's left in here. No, there's not every piece, just most of it. We might get started on the next bag, but I'm not sure I've got it in me to do the full next stage. But we will see. There's. I want to be up. Not too late tomorrow. Oh, a ticket. What's a ticket? And then a green bottle-like shape. A red. It appears pink in here, but it is definitely red. That is the piece we have. So it won't matter. Here we go. Exciting set of pieces here. So we're going to take this brown block here and place this upon it thus. Okay. Now it gets a little bit squiggly to see because it's brown. But I think we're doing 2 of these. No, that can't be right. Yes, I see how it works now. So one of these either side. Like so. And then these things are facing inwards. That. Making a sort of mantelpiece-y style arrangement. Quite something. And then these kind of reinforce these together. I think this might be the desk, the entry desk. Yeah, well, the ticket kind of gives it away, doesn't it? And then we've got this along the back, which doesn't really want to go on. There we go. And there. There, that's a cash register. I'm pretty certain of it. The ticket goes next to them, and it says ticket facing. Oops. We must get this right. I would hate it if I got it wrong. The ticket words ticket must be facing inwards towards the till. Word ticket. This is very definitely a cash register we're constructing here. An yieldy cash register. That's quite neat, isn't it? And we have strange potiony bottle-y thing on here. Again, showing kind of pink in the instructions, very definitely red to me. So, I do believe this will be where our man will stand. Right, so here we go. We've got a... all becomes clear. So we have built here the ticket and control system. A little fire grate right there. Now front. There is the lever. Have no cronk to pull it, but there. We now get this big old sprocket here. This is satisfyingly chunky. And 2 little bits that would be tremendously easy to do. And we fasten slide this on here. There we are. A little bit of force required, but not too much weight for it. Did we do this correctly? We did. Then this is effectively a washer, I think, preventing too much friction. Is my guess, or it could be for some kind of pulley belt. And then the reds, I think, are mostly there to keep everything in place, and that now moves all of that. So you, and there's a satisfying kind of clicky noise. I can't hear it very well with the earphones in. Hang on. Yeah, that sounds quite nice. I have accidentally stopped the music. There we go. Back. Right. So, page 49, but step 52. We assemble the two parts that we have built together in a rather terrifying fashion. So I'm going to move the instruction manual from here out of the way a bit more. We will place that there for safety. Very gently bring this over. And then figure out what the hell we're doing. So everything that is not in this operation needs to be out of the way. Just about to see the manual here. But this is the orientation we need. So they need to go the other way round. With you. Bloody awkward, I tell you. There is... That's not going in with any semblance of connection. I'm wondering if it should. Or if that's just bought it. Is there anything in the engine there? It looks like it isn't. I am worried because it feels like something should happen there, but it's not. This is just goes lots in frictionlessly. Right, okay. We're securing some pieces now. On page 51, step 53. Take two smooth black pieces and we place them starting from here. Going across here, thus connecting these two irrevocably. Well, we can revoke it if we want, but we're not gonna. And then we have this monstrous assembly here. Gonna close that in for now, just to make it a bit more compact. Here. It looks very exciting, doesn't it? Right, so from here we take this one smooth piece, and that is our connecting piece. Goes from here to here. I am assuming this will be concealed in some way at some point. And then we take two of... They go across the top here. Quite delicately, actually. They're only secured by one stud on this side. But it's locking into place rather nicely. That is pretty sturdy. Gonna be a pain in the arse to move this around. Onwards to step 55 on page 52. A notch. So this goes here. Well, it says do this first. So we always follow the instructions because not doing that can lead to disaster. Like the great non-ejecting seat problem 23. And 4 of these, so 2 times 2 of them placed together to level that out. I'm happy with that. That's very satisfactory. Go. And we can There we are. Those tools are going to go flying. And now we are on to bag 4. We will do bag 4. What time is it? 10 past 12. I said I would go till 1. I may well do that, actually. Maybe even a little later. So, with all of these bags, we seem to be doing sort of one section piece. So, this is our section now. This is... I'll just place those in there for a moment. Move that across a little so we can have a look at the construction manual here. Here, this is what the finished result will be. We have a second minifig, the gent in a wheelchair, with a ticket. And he looks pretty unhappy. Oh, sorry. But we're going to end up with what looks like the entrance there. That appears to be what we're building now, so we may not be building anything particularly technical, which is fine. So here is our base plate for this part of the build. We may need to move it out of the way. And here comes the noise. There are a lot of little bits in this one. The noise gets filtered. Fine. How was that? I mean, I can make the open threshold a little bit better. Oh, no. This is important. Yeah, it's getting filtered a little. Let's... Tell you what. Turned off the noise suppression. We'll see how that works. How that works for us. Right, we begin with wheelchair pieces. So what I might do, I will leave it off for now. If it becomes annoying, I can put it back on. But we've got to find some wheelchair pieces here. So we've got some wheels for the wheelchair. One of the things I loved in particular about when I was doing Lego builds, not for any particular celebration or reason, was building the bonsai tree, which has I think it's 102 or something well, they're not talking about it and you are, so I'm happy that things are as they are. This head is identical to the head of this dude. Is there another head? There we have another dude, right. So there are two. So we build another dude with a top hat, which is not illustrating because we've done it before and we should know what the fuck we're doing, apparently. So the bonsai tree, yeah, it has, if you look it up, there's a number, and I think that number is 103 or something like that. Tiny pink frogs to be the blossom. And you have a choice of blossoms, and you can use the pink blossom. I can wordsmith. You can use the pink frogs or the other ones, and that was the choice. I can't even remember what the other ones were. This guy looks far too cheerful. there doesn't appear to be another head, so it's possible this is where things have been mixed up. But the guy on here looks rather worried. This guy does not. Oh, no, hang on. He's a Two-Face. I love Lego. Because they do shit like that. Like, okay, we need some cherry blossom. Do we print out a new part? And someone was like, no, hang on, I think I've got an idea. Give me the frogs. And I believe they are now quite sought after Lego pieces. But they are standard, so you don't have to pay a fortune for them. And there we go, we have our rather worried guy. But you can take his head off and make him look cheerful. Which is quite cool. So, does this work? And he gets a ticket as well. So let's find that. There's a lot of really small parts in here. I will be mortified if the cat knock it off the table. Although they are actually very good at not doing shit like that. Which is not to say they don't cause chaos, but they are not criminals. Unlike certain other animals I have known and loved. I need to learn to trust in the bricks here. You, sir, are carrying your ticket in your right hand and not looking very happy about it. But there we go. Oh, it's the wrong way around. We can't be having that. Right. Poke your arm up a bit. There you go. Very slightly obscuring the bar in the T. Maybe just a touch more down. I'm really overdoing this. I am really not that pedantic about this. But there is a bit of a bit going on. And I'm trying to commit to it. So there we go. We have an unfortunate gent in his wheelchair. Currently being pushed by this dude because I don't know what else to do with him. But we've got two identical guys. Right, so this is, we're not doing anything with this for a while. So we're back to, it's not in the way just yet, so I'm going to keep it there. That looks right, so we need one of those. Need one of these. One of these. Sort of finding an optimal position to sit and rummage through this without twisting my back too much. Because I'm old and creaky. Two of these. Alright, I think the music is about to get disgustingly Christmassy. So we go back. Just go back to the start of the playlist. That's what happens here. Nothing exciting. We do excitement other times. Two of those. Oh, one of those. One of those. We need a 4. That's a 3. It's just age. Not much I can do about it. Well, actually, plenty I can do about it, which I'm largely doing by playing Beat Saber all the time. That does the job rather nicely. So one of those, one of those, one of these. You need a 4 flats. One of those. That is grey, yeah. These are matching colours there. Knolling is the word I was looking for earlier. When you pull all of your bricks out and for a build and you knoll them together by shape and colour, thus giving you an overview of where everything is. So whenever a brick is needed, you know exactly where it is. That's the safe way of doing Lego. We do extreme Lego here. We follow the instructions. Cool. Let's build this thing. So there we go. And also, let's not have Christmas music if we can avoid it. This song is literally called Levity. This is called The Haunted Playhouse. This is interesting. Like, it makes me... I mean, I can see... Yeah, I can see what is occurring. Oh, that is rather cool. I've noted the access ramp, which is probably less about disabled access and more about the people they've already injured being able to be wheeled round for another terrorising ride. Haha! Okay, 4. I need... There's something I should do for... Even though it's only 20 minutes, which is close the door. Are not particularly... I've never had an argument with them about noise, but I don't want to start either, so... I am on the opposite side of the house from them. It's a semi-detached house, so there's... one of those. Is that coming through adequately? Or even over there? I think it probably should be. Crunch, crunch. So, I got the news while I was just as I was getting ready to stream and everything was going terribly wrong, that my daughter has installed Linux for the first time. Or rather, has booted a Linux USB, but figured out the whole process herself. And I'm very proud of her. So she was overjoyed to begin with. And then when I was like, I am really seriously proud of you, was like, oh, I only followed the instructions. So I'm like, right, yeah. I wonder what mischief they'll get up to. I hope they enjoy it. Right, where shall we start? Well, that is fairly easy to... do. I think that's right. That looks right, yeah. Now we get this big old brown piece here. There's only 3 pieces in the next bit of the build. And 2 of these. And this is... I really like this when you start layering things like this. To build... a more, well, 3-dimensional structure. Yeah, a strong feeling of sturdiness and kind of extrusion going on. There we go. Ta-da! I remember booting you've been to 606 live CD for the first time, being utterly engrossed around. And really, yeah. So USB installs now being a thing, or rather, you know, USB based. That's what I suggested to her. I do have a device she could have, and a Raspberry Pi is a couple of times the price of a USB memory stick, but you still then need to have a memory card and other accessories, so it's not a straightforward purchase, but we can certainly get us sorted. Did I turn over 2 pages at once, maybe there? No, that's page 55. This is 56 and 59. We need... not that. Discarded. One of these. One of these. One of these. One of those. Okay, so... oh, this is much less complicated than it first appeared. I was looking at the picture and going, how do we achieve that with these pieces? But now it is clear and obvious. Do, 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 do. Okay, now we need these pieces. 4 of these. These are exciting. They're multi-level sort of arching pieces to smooth a ziggurat-like structure like this. Yeah, there are many a tragic tale, and one of them is my own, of people booting the live CD, getting into it and realising I'm going to lose everything the moment I shut down the PC. And then, because the installation interface in early Ubuntu was not great at explaining things, erasing their entire hard drive, because I don't think the first versions would actually attempt to dual boot. I'm pretty sure I erased a machine of mine like that. Canonical, you did such great things, and some really terrible ones as well. back when I lived in Cambridge, there's a chap that also lived there, Cambridge University grad called Ian Jackson. And Ian Jackson was the Debian project manager for some time. I forget how long, but it was quite a while. He is responsible for depackage. And that wasn't his day job. The Debian project managers don't generally do that as their primary work. It's a sideline of sorts. And are these grey or are these white? Sorry, are these light grey or dark grey? Oh, hang on. I'm sorry. That's rather horrible, but I needed to scratch my ear because these things irritate them slightly. We need 2 of these. Cambridge is a small place. If you live there, whatever you happen to be into, you'll meet the people involved in it fairly quickly. Someone I was together with there was also his ex, and they still got along, and sort of through them I got included in the great sort of Cambridge Debian conspiracy lol. Anyway, where this is going is that Ian Jackson left his current work then to go and work for Canonical, and I remember talking to him at a party where he's like has a glass of wine, and so do I, and I'm like, how are things going? He said, oh, it's very interesting. I'm writing my own contract of employment. What do you mean? He goes, well, you see, they don't have a contract that suits me, but they do want me to join, so they've asked me to write my contract. So I have to write the conditions under which I can be be fired. And as it turned out, some years later, in the great System D debacle thing, where they moved from System D to System Control, or basically the stuff that manages the services in Linux fundamentally changed. And some people, Ian included, felt this was an incredibly bad move, and I think he either quit or was fired over the disagreement. But yeah, there's a lot of Ian, as I understand it, in Ubuntu, which is not surprising because there's a lot of Ian in Debian. Other people who are there, Simon Tatham, he wrote Putty. I am mentioning people who have public presences, by the way. I'm not doxing anyone really, at least as far as I'm aware. Ian Jackson famously had a very brief Wikipedia page, I don't know if it's still there, with a quote about, I may come across as something like, I may come across as terse and unpleasant. I don't mean to be, it's just who I am. I think that's how it went anyway. But yes, he was actually a good person. I can vouch for that. But a pretty typical geek. Simon Tatham wrote Putty, which if you ever connected to a Linux box from Windows, you probably used. And the Sinister Green End organisation people were my friends. Or are my friends, I just haven't seen them in a very long time. But, I learnt Linux largely by osmosis. And yeah, Linux parties where they would come around your house and install Linux on your computer while drinking heavily. So yeah. I am not concentrating on what I'm doing, and this may lead to problems. I think got it right. And then we need 2 of the... okay. 6 of these cone things. Alright. Hang on. I was around when they pushed an update that made Xork fail start. That was fun to troubleshoot and fix. The first guide I found told me to use Vim to edit the config files, and that's why I use Vim now. That sounds like a very common how I got started with Vim use case. If that, yeah, I am not paying attention, and I am doing things wrong because of it. I use Vim because the Vim people got to me first rather than the Emacs people. I suspect had I been aware of Emacs, I would have very much ended up an Emacs person, because Emacs is the sort of nonsense that really appeals to me. So what we do is we create like a little stairwell there, and that whole assembly goes together like that. It's rather neat, isn't it? I'm doing this all over there, and I should be doing it here. So let's correct that, shall we? Yeah. Yeah, although I've got a kind of funny problem at the moment. Yeah, well, actually, it's going to be part of some stairs. You can see them here. These are the balustrades of some stone steps. But it is interesting and fun that to acknowledge that even in the full knowledge of what the end build looks like, as you go, it is actually quite hard to tell what the fuck it is you are building. And it's fun to guess. Even in the moments, it's quite clear I'm building some stairs. And yet... my thoughts were going in a similar direction, Fader. But that all fits together so neatly. It's deeply pleasant. My compliments to the designer, and there we go. We have that is step 61 on page 57. We are so out of sync. We're never going back now. It's all over. The steps and the pages will never match again. We've got 4 minutes. I do not know the game Mars First Logistics. I know the game Surviving Mars, and I have seen the game Mars Attracts. Surviving Mars I bounced off of because I think it was built on the assumptions of some prior gaming that I had not done, but it was kind of sold to me as, if you really like this sort of thing, if you like Frostpunk, you'll like this, but I did not. Well, I liked it, but I just didn't enjoy it as much. So go on, tell me about Mars First Logistics. What is it, and why do you think it might catch my attention? Has multiplayer co-op? Go on. I like multiplayer co-op. If I can find people to actually do multiplayer co-op with me, because that's quite hard. A lot of my friends have lives and kids. I don't, which is why I need people to play multiplayer games with. I have my daughter, but my daughter is... I've got co-parenting life going on. Partly because they are in fact my stepdaughter, and I am no longer in the relationship in which they became my stepdaughter, but we are maintaining our relationship outside of that with, you know, the full enthusiastic consent of all involved. Also, they're 18 now, so there's limits to the amount of time they want to hang around with me, which is perfectly natural. Lego and motors in space. Well, that sounds very nice. Alright, let's have a look at this. I am thinking very much of maybe dropping quite a lot of real money on an articulated arm and putting my actual proper mirrorless camera on that. I got this. So the Logitech Stream Cams, if you look them up, are an interesting one because they can do this lengthwise shot, but they are such a bitch to configure. Like, just disastrously bad. Anyway, yeah, I maybe have to check that out. Someone is Steel Fair is currently trying to sell me on Icarus, which is not Lego in space, but it is kind of interesting. But like all such things, it's looking like a time sink for time that I do have, but I don't know if that's what I want to spend it on. I had a few encounters with yeah, I should have followed the instructions here. That's going to be much easier to do that. Encounters with EverQuest, Eve, World of Warcraft, and latterly Elite Dangerous. And yeah, my capability to just be in front of a PC all the time, grinding for dopamine, even if it's in a relatively healthy way, like a Minecrafty or the this game that you're mentioning sort of way. I must think about it. Right, we have hit the end of pre-roll free time, because I don't have to take ad breaks. I just run them every hour or so. So if people do drop in, they don't get pre-rolls. I feel that's a good compromise, rather than being beholden to the ads. But that's because I don't need the money that Twitch gives me, so, which is a very different situation to a lot of people. I do this purely as a hobby, although a rather consuming one. One which I've invested far more in than I got out. But that's fine. That describes an awful lot of my life. Oh, we've got another one of these little oddities down here. They're quite cute. I'll be sure to show that. So I'm gonna finish this page, and I'm gonna take a break for a few minutes, and then we will probably just after that not take any more breaks. When I'm ready to stop, I will stop. But let's get this fiddly little bastard out of the way first. So we need one of those, or we need two of those. And I'm excited to know who will be on tonight. I think I know that we raided Coco last night, and I very much like Coco, and I was overjoyed to be able to raid her once again, because it's been quite possibly years since I've done that. But I hadn't noticed. I think Cursive was on at the same time, and I've missed my chance to raid Cursive again today. Which is a shame, because I quite like to do that. But we will see who in my list of late night viewing will be about. So we need one of these, and then we need a little 4 flat block. And then once we've done that, I'll take a break and I'm going to avail myself of the facilities because I am beginning to twitch in a rather urgent way. Yep. So I'm doing things outside again. So what we're doing here is we're building this into a little kind of. I think they're fire. I think it's a fireplace. Anyway, they are rather interesting. I'll show you the full thing. So you put the spikes in here and here. Are you a fireplace lover, Fader? I do like a good cozy fire, but I don't like them enough. Having actually had a fire with living in a home with a fireplace and a chimney. Although in London, where there are big restrictions on what you can burn in said fireplaces, and they are getting more restrictive during the day, all the time because it's actually very polluting. It's an absolute arse. Whereas I know people who spend thousands of pounds of their money pulling out fireplaces they intend to use. So look at this little thing. Hang on, I've got to get it actually focusing on the lens. It's quite cute. And that's orientated correctly, it is. And that goes this way. There are 2 pole holders either side of here, so I believe they will be used for something exciting soon. I hope they are, anyway. Right, break time. And I will see you all reasonably shortly. I'll run some ads. Be right back. return. Hopefully nothing has gone wrong in the meantime. And I have got a cushion for this chair. So, I wonder if I do this and then this, can we shed a bit more light on the subject? It is all very... Well, actually, let's do that. And this. Okay, we get a little bit of flicker. Maybe if I... You know what? I think I can probably live with the flicker. Tell me if it's uncomfortable and I'll change it. We could... So... I wonder... It's all about balancing the lights correctly so that they don't interfere with the frequency of the camera itself. There. I can't decide if I like it or not. I'll just fiddle around until I'm happy. That's how these things normally work. We need 10 of these little bricks here. We're going to see how far we get. So that's 2. That's 4, 6, 8. So we need 2 more. 1, 2. 2 grey twofers. And 4 brown. I do seem to have largely avoided sort of my bald head just like poking under the camera. That's quite good. The camera could stand to be a little bit more that way, couldn't it? But the problem is it needs to be flat. It needs to be... sort of like this. Which obviously I can't do because I run out of hands very quickly. So we've got it at an angle at the moment, which is not perfect, but it will do. This is becoming more and more of a nuisance. So 2, 4, 2 today. 2 of those. Yep, we are ready. So we take our 2 green bricks here, put them together. I'm probably overthinking things. No, I never overthink things. That's not something I do at all. So we do that onto brown, green, then a single green, and that, another brown. That's all good. And we place that on top of there, and we now have this interesting looking arrangement here, which fits on there. So cool. So we do something similar here, but probably in the opposite direction. Yes, it is the opposite. So it will do the same thing the other side. So we have moss covered pillars, I think is the effect they're going for, or effect. Effect? It's an effect. Affect is, I forget, but it's not. It's not what this is. And there. Ta-da. And 2 more. Have I missed out? Oh yeah, there's an extra one that goes on the top there that I have neglected. So that goes on there. And that goes on in there. And now we have this. So we have stairs and an access ramp. Very modern of them. But as I say, it's probably less to do with caring much about the accessibility of people and more to do with victims. Well, that is the atmosphere this is conjuring. Playfully, of course, it's Lego. Yay, we get to build some towers. Do like building a tower. Blocks and dots. Lots of lovely swooshing, rattling sounds. I think it was very easy when you were a kid to associate the jingle of Lego with the jingle of coin, of money. I certainly remember using it as currency in childhood games, with the obvious problem that your bits got lost everywhere because those games often involved Mortal Kombat. Which are not conducive to... I need to focus on counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And as we all know, children are monsters. 8. I certainly was. I was a right little shit. Right, let's build a tower or two, shall we? I've got to remember that my working area is slightly to my left here, and my doing off camera is to the right, which I think is the opposite way round to how it used to work last time I did this upstairs. Now it says sort of build it contiguously, but I like to put these together one by one and then assemble them together. We could even be very daring and place these on the bottom and assemble it that way. I'm departing from the instructions. This will be my downfall. I think building a couple of towers might be safe though. Yeah, actually, come to think of it, some years back, I was at a movable nightclub. I think it's called an Imaginarium. It's going to this day, but it would run. Its mode was to effectively, I think, towards the end of the month on like the busiest night, call around the clubs and find out which ones had cancellations and were willing to rent out their space cheaply to fill the. So it's 5 per this, yes. And thus it was able to run club nights in relatively expensive venues quite cheaply. Although the actual like bar prices remained the same and so on, but you got to use sort of places that would normally frequently have to buy a ticket and wait months in advance to go to. And Imaginarium's very well run, and they have wellness volunteers long before those were that common. So they have people who in high-vis vests who would wander around the club just looking for anyone who was a bit too mashed or otherwise, you know, looking like they weren't having a great time, and they would just like hang out with them, chat to them, make sure they were doing okay. And the club was swelteringly hot. I had quite a few drinks, and I was just having like a rest outside. Like I just found a spot, quiet spot to sit in and cool down. And this young chap came over to me, and he clearly thought I was having a bad time with some kind of, you know, drugs, basically. I wasn't. I was just a bit pissed and tired, and I needed to hydrate and cool down. But he handed me some Lego blocks to play with, and then sat down and started chatting to me, and that's when I experienced massive shock when it turns out he didn't know what Red Dwarf was. He was British and he didn't know what Red Dwarf was, and at that moment I felt very old indeed. Thank you. You know what Red Dwarf is. That makes me feel better. I was trying to explain to him. I think the word smeg came up, and that's why I started talking about it. And this did nothing to persuade him that I wasn't having a bad time on some shitty ketamine or something, because he thought I was talking bollocks. But later that night, he approached me again. He said, "Oh, I talked to one of my colleagues, and he's a bit older. I think he's about your age. And he explained to me that Red Dwarf really is a thing, and I'm going to watch it now. You've introduced me to it. I think I'm really going to enjoy it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to watch it when I get home." All right, fantastic. But yeah, having people just wander around and take care of people, like, do you need a chat? Would you like some water? No one's chucking you out, mate. But if you want us to call you a cab, can you afford a cab? You know, maybe we can help you with that. Do you need someone to find someone? Do you just need to like be left alone? They're great. It's such a good idea. It's a lot more common now, but Jesus, there are some nights I could have done with that when I was much younger. Well, maybe I shall suggest some watch parties. It is. You always feel like this when you go like, "Oh, this is my old love," and you immediately justify it by going, "Well, it's kind of its time. It's got a bit non-Euclidean again. It hasn't, but it just looks like it." So this goes on here. But I might go, well, I'm going to watch some Red Dwarf in the Discord. Who wants to join me? Like many culty things, cult classics or whatever you want to call them, there are opinions about what good Red Dwarf is and what Red Dwarf should have been made in the first place and what shouldn't. Now, is this seriously telling me... Oh, I'm going to skip this one because it is only barely legally distinct from a certain American metal band's most famous hit. It does rather look like this is saying place this directly on top of the 2 and the 1 on top of the 1. Which feels to me completely out of keeping with how the rest of it works, but who am I to judge? You would think... Right, let's have a look. Yeah, that's exactly what it's saying to do. That's correct. But yeah, there's definitely parts of a Red Dwarf that have failed to age at all well. But it is, in the main, extremely funny and rather good-hearted. And it's absolutely worth everyone's time. Series 1 to 6 are the original 6 series. Some people will deny that Series 7 ever came into being. and I can kind of understand that. And the ones after that, there are several series of Red Dwarf now I haven't seen, some of which are apparently stand on their own quite good. But one of the things to sort of bear in mind is that it was originally a comedy writing duo. So they worked as a team, and that was up till series 6, and then there was a complicated creative difference that involved them. And this is the really cool thing: they'd already written some companion books for Red Dwarf, kind of in the style of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, in that the feel was there, but it didn't. What they had in common was the humour and the characters. The actual storylines diverged wildly, but touched again from place to place. So they'd written 2 of those books, I think, and then this disagreement came along, and they agreed to write a final novel each. So you could read either novel as the final book, following on from the first 2, and they were to write them entirely on their own, and gain closure that way. And then one of them continued to write for the series. It is kind of neat. I don't think it was as friendly as it sounds. I think this was a desperate act for them to try and close off this thing that they'd started, and this was a resolution of sorts for them. There's a good interview about it somewhere. It doesn't really give me the sense. I think they ended up not talking to each other, but it was a bit more complicated than they fell out. It sounded like the breakup of a relationship, and the complexities that go with that, and you move on, but how you do that and how you achieve that tends to be fairly unique. So what am I doing here? I don't understand this. How do you have... Oh, I see. Right, okay. 1, 2. So some of this is requiring me to squint myopically at the instructions and figure out what the hell it thinks it's doing. So we've got 2 of those there. We need 4 more. But I find that very interesting. Apparently the entire process of writing for them was always difficult. And the more they did it, the harder it got. And it turns out they're writing what they wanted out of their writing styles, and the ultimate goals of what they were doing were very, very different. But like a lot of relationships, it took them quite a while to realise this, and the success rather got in the way of them resolving it in a more peaceful way, I guess. I don't know what the word to use there is. So what's going on here, what's confusing me is you get these 2 pieces and this is coming out 3, but we've got this 1. So obviously the 1 piece goes on the end there, and then the 2 piece goes on the end there, and the 1 piece goes on the back here. And they don't buttress particularly well, but then it does it slightly. Whenever Lego indicates you should put a piece underneath another piece like this, that's when it looks non-Euclidean to me, like Escher is getting involved in our playtime, and I get a little bit uncomfortable. But no, that's working just fine. Yeah. I'm wondering if we can get to the end of the bag, or given that it's nearly 1:30, we shouldn't wrap up fairly soon. Oh, it's now gone back to a way that is more satisfactory to me. We're crossing the pieces back over. I mean, this is setting up sort of habits and ideas, and then dashing them, and then reverting to them. It's very tricksy. Okay, so we have built this piece, and it goes, I think, here. So we built basically the opposite number of that. But the in this case, this one is all green. This one has a stone stripe down the side. So a bit of a pleasing asymmetry. Right, step 68 is pretty minimal, to be honest. Well, we could just do this straight out of the box. We get one of these and one of these. And we build that there. And then, again, this kind of fireplace. Are these going to connect? I think I've identified where this is going to... I know we looked at a picture of it not less than an hour ago. But I've just figured out how it fits from where this piece matches up there. And it felt like a revelation, I tell you. A thunderbolt from the heavens. Right, yeah, this is definitely... I am definitely getting the triads on. I am given it's going to take me at least an hour to wind down. I should... crack on. Just wondering if I heard voices. As in someone like outside going, please shut up, I'm trying to go to sleep. No, it seems okay. Okay, Cuppy, you're more sensible than me. Good night, you sleep well. Right, this needs to be round this way. I will see you tomorrow at 8 PM. Cuppy will be streaming Beat Saber at 8 PM UK time. Please be there, because if you don't, you will miss out. And that would be a terrible thing. Right, okay, it says do it this way, so I will do it the way that it says. Right, so over here. And over here. These are going to be wobbly. These are buttressed nicely, so they can't wiggle around too much. Which is, again, pleasing. These are a bit freewheeling. Okay. I do need to make a... I don't know quite what I would do with it, which is why I have not made it yet. Right, 70. Gosh. It feels like we could get through this box reasonably quickly. I believe it must be that one. So 2 of those. It would be nice because then we'll have a... Yeah, the voices are coming from the music. So this goes across here like this. Ooh, come on. There we go. Right. And that is aligning everything rather well. Right, I might be a little less verbal while I'm doing this bit. We are storming through. That's one. That looks a little too white. We just put that there. I can't go anywhere else. I don't keep finding it again. We have this, but it's the wrong colour. It does appear that a piece is not where I expect it to be. Conundrum. We have this here, but I will look ahead. I expect that to be it is not. It looks like that might be a replacement piece. Here. I do not see a white two-piece, so I think it's a replacement piece that's in a place where it's not going to be visible. Okay, let's get moving. Right. So now we are building a roof. There we go. Yeah, this is going to be concealed by something. I hope it is, anyway. Yeah, there we are. No, it's going to be very visible. Well, that is irritating. I'm not sure there's a way around that. So, this piece here is white, and everything else is grey, and it looks like it's either a replacement piece or no, I have made an error, and it is recoverable. I used a grey piece where I should have used a white piece here. I will need my tool. This comes here. And this comes here. I was shocked actually because at the I've mentioned several times the person who sold me this has been meticulous. They couldn't work miracles, but they did their very best to make this as close to the original experience of opening the box as possible. And they're going to get an absolutely stunning review from me on eBay, or at least as much of one as you can leave. But I shall definitely leave more than a would purchase again. Someone spent a lot of effort on this, and they were in touch with me throughout like the whole packing process, going, well, I want to do it this way. Would you be happy to receive it like this? So if you ever need a second-hand Lego set, they are my recommendation. They're called I Am a Star, I think, is their eBay user ID. But yeah, I was shocked. Like, if they had popped in a little white brick to replace something, I'm sure they would have said something. I was quite shocked, and it turns out that I just misread the instructions because I'm quite tired earlier. But I had enough noose to look backwards and go, ah. So now everything is consistent and clean. Right. We have not been instructed to put that block there, and yet I have, so let's get that off. Far cry from using kitchen knives to prise things apart, isn't it? Alright. Let's make some lanterns. Or maybe we should... I feel actually that given where I was there, now is a good time to cease. Because I am quite tired. I have been up. I got up much earlier than I expected. Despite quite a late night last night. Also doing this. And I'm going to have to watch that. So, let's mark our place. And have a little look at what we have here. So, my assumption is that is how they join. And there's that is the fireplace there. It does seem like that. I mean, there is a photograph or a graphic in there. We've got some nice machinery going on here. No one knows what it does yet. But things spin and rotate nicely. That's got a feel to it like it might be a crank. And I imagine that the whole thing is going to kind of separate like that. I'll grab my camera here and we can have a quick squiz. Or maybe we can, maybe we can't. It's... You can kind of get an idea, can't you? So the bit we've been building today is mostly this. Well, this piece here. Little fireplaces. Yeah. Well, this has been fun. Thank you for being here. I do like the whole kind of bit of this, like dressing up, throwing on a nice waistcoat and shirt, and putting on a bit of a show. But ultimately, we're just building some Lego, and that in itself is a wonderful thing. We just have to hope the cats are merciful during the night and don't decide that that this is a toy. Very chill time, yes, for me, and thankfully for you as well. So what we need to do here is find someone to raid. Steel and Cursive are still on. I hadn't realised that. So it doesn't really matter which one of them I raid. Let's raid Steel. Don't forget to wish Steel Shin a happy birthday. Thank you for being here. It's been wonderful. Hope to see you all soon. I will be back to do some Baldur's Gate tomorrow. From about... I forget what it says in the schedule. 12:30, something like that. Hang on, I've got it. I can look. It's right here on my phone.
We need to get points.
Alright. The shout-out's happening, but I am not seeing it. Never mind. That's a thing to fix for another day, but we'll move it to the top for now. Right. Good night, Spectacular Man. Lovely to be here. I hope, Spectacular Man, you noted the Hoy Hoy song. Made me think of you. Maybe see some of you for Baldur's Gate tomorrow. Maybe see some of you next week for Beat Saber starting Monday through till Friday. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to each other. It's been a great deal of fun, and I hope to see you all soon. Good night. Find the button. Bye.